Romanian government holds parley with Amnesty Office, seeks agro-allied partnership. Niger Delta stakeholders advocate sustenance of youth empowerment initiative. Plus, fact file, tidbits, and more. Hello and welcome to the program. I am Stella Inameti, and this week on Reintegration 30,000, we want to appreciate you, the viewer, for always being there, especially now as we count down to the end of the year. It has been months of intense activities on all fronts for the Presidential Amnesty Program, and there is no relenting in efforts to consolidate on the gains being achieved. Well, for this episode, we have our regular segments already lined up, and our content would be a blend of significant stories we have told you in the past, as well as some fresh inputs. This is to begin our season of stock-taking as we gradually wrap up the year 2017. Let's bring you a segment, A Changed Story. Our changed story for this week was a former cook at one of the militant camps that existed during the Niger Delta armed struggle. Not only has her story changed, but today she aspires to better herself in her current area of expertise, courtesy of the Presidential Amnesty Program.
My name is Natwaton Ileberi. I stay with my oga for in camp. We are cooking for him just like that. So before they grant the amnesty, before they say make they come drop gun, he tell me say make I come put my name because of the help when we been help them. Come put my name. Since I like fashion, the money, and I no day to do the fashion. That's why. And this is the opportunity that they have given me to continue the dream that I was dreaming about.
Let me bring scissors.
No, not scissors. Why is that? Why me say if I cut them like this, but they more better. I want to like just remove this piece.
Okay. It will be okay.
We both learn both female and male, but yeah, to get male this thing is not rampant like that. Customer, it depends on the environment that customer will come. So the customer come for female more than male. That's why I decide to do males one. That is, they teach us male and female for the training. These two people are my staff. They work for me. They are under me, they work for me. Then, before they open the store, they don't give us money to buy these things. So I use my own money to buy the material and do all that rest. Even that machine, when is my own money, it's only these two with other one that they give me. This one, I bought it with my own money. That's why, to tell them that I'm serious, I really like the business to do. My dream is to put other bigger place, not this one. This one is too tight for me. My role model is Balamiri, the one that trained us in the amnesty. That woman is very good and nice, and she put us well. She really put us well in this. I want to thank the federal government that bring this empowerment to me. I want to thank them. They did very, very well. Maybe if not for them, I don't know whether I will get this kind of stuff. So I want to thank them. May the Lord bless them and keep them in the mighty name of Jesus.
Tuatun Ileberi's aspiration to one day display her designs on the walkway of prestigious fashion shows depicts the truly changing stories of former agitators from the Niger Delta. Thousands of delegates have embraced this same attitude and are undergoing mentorship in various fields and vocations. On this episode of the program, we shall revisit the Amnesty Program training in fashion design and shoemaking. The delegate is usually the focus of attention for technical partners of the Presidential Amnesty Program. The core objective of these partnerships, as indeed any vocational training, is to ensure that delegates get the best quality mentorship and exposure to advanced methodology in skills application. This particular institute specializes in fashion design. It is a consulting firm that has already trained hundreds of delegates from the Presidential Amnesty Program. Each set of delegates is essentially exposed to the same curriculum, which covers both basic and advanced tailoring.
First and foremost, we start by doing our normal introduction to fashion, because fashion itself has different aspects. So after that, we take them into our normal curriculum that deals with introductions to fashion, then other sewing, cutting and sewing. First of all, we start with pattern drafting. We have the aspect of pattern drafting, cloth construction, and then we have the sewing aspect part of it.
In the course of 9 months of training, progress is often gradual and enthusiasm builds as these delegates individually and collectively embrace the training. As they cut, stitch, and engage the presser foot of sewing machines, each delegate becomes increasingly aware of what it takes to become a fashion entrepreneur. One of the key elements of the training is confidence building, where delegates are encouraged not to fret, but instead develop creative means to open new markets to ply their trade.
Fashion itself is so wide, despite the fact that it looks as if the market is congested. It's wide because every human being must wear clothes, and clothes are perishable items. Over time, they will get to perish, they will get to fade up, so we will definitely need new ones. And we also have people giving birth. So the more the population increases, the more the demands for clothes. So the market is so wide, it's a continual market that keeps growing on a daily basis because of the trend of the fashion that comes in on daily basis. People want to look good. People want to wear different things at different time. So you could have so many designers who are creative, who wants to meet people's needs out there.
Indeed, opportunities are limitless, but success requires strong will, dedication, and unquenchable thirst to be at the top.
I actually use myself as an example. Somebody who was born in the village, brought up in the village, today here I am. You know, there are ways that you speak to the Niger Deltans that they will believe that yes, they have hope tomorrow. You know, and this is not just about, oh, I'm an ex-militant. When you get to this center, you have to remove that tag from you. We have to face reality. And normally, as a mother, I see them as my own biological children. And what they will become, here we call us CEOs. And everybody here put on that garment upon themselves that I'm owner of a company. Tomorrow when I leave here, I'm going to own a company. So, I mean, when you look at the t-shirt, the back of the t-shirt, you can see we are the CEOs. So from the beginning, I mean, I have to put that in their mind that when you live here, you have to empower other people. Not just, oh, I'm going to because 90,000 naira. I mean, none of them here have that belief that, oh, I'm here because of 90,000 naira. No. Everybody, 99% can cut the pattern, they can make their clothes. What I'm wearing right now is made by a student in this place.
The delegates do also have an opportunity to explore other craft-making areas as their chosen vocation.
That's why I added, shoemaking, bag making, craft work. We do entrepreneurship too, bookkeeping, accounting, and so on and so forth.
The essence of this is to help delegates diversify and possess requisite knowledge on several areas of fashion. Facilitators of the training believe it will improve the delegates' chances at succeeding in their businesses.
When I leave here, I will take everything. When they empower me, I will use my things to open store. Then I can start my business, supply people, Lagos, Abuja, anywhere I can supply. Even you and they, if you want, I can supply you. Mama want, I can supply her anywhere, both Gabon, anywhere.
I want it in a greater way. I want to sew for models, stars, everybody. I want to make it in a great way.
You're watching Reintegration 30,000, and time now for our segment Talking Point. We are being joined by someone considered an active stakeholder from the Niger Delta and a vocal voice for change in the region. Mr. Marshall Kunu, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Stella. I'm happy to be here and to share my view about what is happening in the Niger Delta with you.
I am sure you have your impression of the progress being achieved by the Presidential Amnesty Program in the Niger Delta and indeed Nigeria. Please do well to share some of them with us.
Yes, I have a very good impression about the Niger Delta Amnesty Program. When President Yar'Adua made the proclamation and the youths embraced it, peace actually returned to the Niger Delta. Communities that were under tension all felt the relief. And of course, successive presidents like Goodluck himself tried his best to make sure the amnesty program was carried on. And the current president himself is ensuring that the amnesty program continues. And of all of their efforts, no doubt there is evident peace in the Niger Delta, very, very evident peace. And the beauty of it is that human society is dynamic, so there are bound to be issues here and there, now and then. Each time such issues come up, because of the amnesty program, there is a quick intervention, and peace returns in no time. So the amnesty program has been having very tremendous positive effect on the Niger Delta and the nation at large, particularly in the oil sector in the Niger Delta. Oil companies are very safe, they are comfortable, and of course, production is on a steady rise. So my simple impression is that the amnesty program has actually brought peace and economic activities to bear.
What areas would you like to see more work done in terms of collaboration between the federal government and the people of the region?
Yes, the areas I want to see work done more is the area of collaboration between the government, the amnesty office itself in particular, the oil companies, and the communities. In fact, this amnesty office and of course, particularly the Ministry of Niger Delta, with the communities and oil companies having a collaboratory platform is one basic thing that must be encouraged. If it is encouraged, I can assure you that peace will be something we sleep with regularly. This spontaneous eruption of violence and threats and call for situations will not arise anymore. Collaboration is very much needed. Because when communities are not involved, they feel alienated. They feel being treated as strangers in their own land. And that is one of the basic things that is always bringing problem. But once they are involved in their own development, I'm sure that most of all these things that we're encountering will be a thing of the past. So collaboration between oil companies, the federal government, and the communities is one area that government must catch in on, and of course ensure that it works.
Are you optimistic that the progress being made can be sustained, or perhaps speak to us about your likely fears with regards to the program and the sustenance of peace in the Niger Delta?
Okay, definitely my idea about sustenance is that amnesty program must not stop, but it can be reclassified or redefined into a youth program that is specially run by the federal government. Once it is done that way, every youth is given an opportunity. Therefore, my idea or an advice I can give is that while we sustain the amnesty program, we should see a measure, a means of transiting it into a youth program that is specially run and capture all the youths. And once they are all captured, particularly giving them orientation on self-improvement, focus, and of course, the aspect of creating a peaceful environment. Those orientations, once they are bequeathed with those orientations, the entire region will be a haven that people will love to visit.
Lastly, and very quickly, where do you see the Niger Delta in the coming years, all things being equal?
All right, with all things being equal, Niger Delta is one unique environment. The ecosystem, the aquaculture there, and of course the culture of the people, the environment, the climatic condition is so attractive. And once we are able to catch in, giving an orientation of self-improvement, and everybody is caught up in the web of self-improvement, the Niger Delta will be one attractive area everybody will want to visit. And I think that in the next couple of years, if these areas are tapped, I can assure you it will be a beehive of activity in the Niger Delta. I can assure you that in a couple of years from now.
Well, Mr. Kunu, it has been a pleasure speaking to you on these matters of concern. We hope you will oblige us if and whenever you are invited back to the program. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. We are at your service. Those of us in the Niger Delta that are prone towards peace and development, we will play our role and also, of course, be available to give you our own piece of advice at any point in time you call us. We are at your service. Thank you for having me here today.
Mr. Marshall Kunu is an active stakeholder from the Niger Delta and a vocal voice for change in the region. Time now to take our segment PAP in recap. The Presidential Amnesty Program has continued to attract more partnerships in establishing agro-allied enterprises across the Niger Delta region. The latest is an expression of interest by a Romanian-based management firm wishing to work with the Amnesty Office in training delegates in the application of modern techniques in agriculture and agricultural value addition. Leader of the Romanian group, Ion Dragan, had during their visit to the Amnesty Office in Abuja explained that the partnership would boost the existing agribusiness hub initiative of the Amnesty Program and open new vista of opportunities for delegates both interested and invested in commercial agriculture.
Looking at it generally in Nigeria, a lot of the youth also need to be engaged in various skills. It's a thing of concern for entire Nigeria, not only the Niger Delta around. Most of the youths actually needs to be adequately engaged in different fields of endeavor so that they can transform the environment positively.
In another news, Amnesty Program boss Brigadier General Paul Boro has been inducted as a fellow of the Institute of Disaster Management and Safety Science. The award was handed over to Brigadier General Boro at a well-attended event in Abuja, which was the group's induction and training ceremony themed Harnessing Disaster Management Knowledge for National Security, with a sub-theme, a panacea for building a safe and disaster-free Nigeria. General Boro, who is incidentally a conflict resolution expert, drew similarities between that and disaster management and expressed hope that Nigeria will build sustainable structures to ensure proactive management of disaster situations.
Let us do everything to prevent it. It is better to prevent than to allow for violence.
This is it for this episode of the program. Do join us same time next week for more on the activities of the Presidential Amnesty Program. Do remember to visit our social media platforms to make your comments and contributions. I am Stella in Amity, and Amnesty Works.